to another exciting edition of Reading with Mr. Eble. Miscalculations, Lightning Girl. We're going to keep on reading, and today we're going to read chapters 15 and 16. So again, chapters 15 and 16 of Miscalculations of Lightning Girl. Here we go. By Thursday, Wendy has asked 7 girls to join our team. Each turned her down. Most said they were already on a team, and one said she wasn't doing it. Her dad was a doctor, and he wrote an excuse. Such a big project would cause her anxiety. On the bus, Wendy asks, "Did you come up with any ideas for our project?" Last night she assigned me a task, come up with at least 20 possibilities. Nothing good. I had only 3, and I knew she wouldn't like any of them. Unclean cafeteria tables, unclean desks, unclean doorknobs. That's okay, I've got some great ideas. What do you think of starting an all-girls school in Zambia? She asked, completely serious. I shrug. I wouldn't know how. Sure, we could figure it out. She opens her notebook. But I have other ideas too. She reads me her list. Every suggestion is a huge project that would require a few $1,000,000 and a team of experts. She wants to build a library in downtown Baltimore, or open a women's hospital in India, or run a search and rescue team that would rush to victims of tsunamis. Well, what do you think? She asks. I think we need something closer to home. My grandmother probably won't let me leave the country. Maybe we could collect aluminum cans and recycle them. Wendy makes a gagging sound. Picking up trash? Really? That's not original at all. I wasn't offering to pick up trash. Now I make a gagging sound. The only thing more unoriginal is helping puppies find homes. She falls back in the seat and takes out a pen. I wouldn't want to do that either. I don't even like puppies, except on calendars and coffee mugs. Animals are unpredictable, and they can't be wiped down with Clorox. She laughs. Don't worry, I'll come up with something perfect. And realistic? She shrugs. Wendy likes to think big, and she needs someone else to pull her back to earth. I'm her gravity. In math, Mr. Stoker starts class not with a review of the homework, like he always does, but with a lecture on math in the real world. And it's awesome. While he's talking, I imagine showing him my world. He'd love to see math and numbers the way I do, and everything from the stars to building construction to ripples on a lake. Even water draining in the sink. I see circles and bisecting triangles that form equations in my brain. If only there were an easier way, like wearing special glasses. A lightning strike is too painful, and results aren't guaranteed. Engineering, science, finance, computer development, teaching, banking, these all require mathematics. He leans forward on his stool. But so do government, art, writing, and love. Love? Maddie asks. Yes, there's a mathematician named Hannah Fry. She's created an equation for finding your soulmate. Mr. Stoker does air quotes around soulmate. She used the optimal stopping theory. I know optimal stopping theory. It's a way to calculate the best time to do something, to figure out the best odds. It's usually used in finance or pricing, not romance. Say as an average adult you date 20 people, and one of those 20 is your best fit for a spouse. Each time you date a person, you essentially must decide, do I marry this guy, or do I marry this gal, or do I move on? The next person could be better, or he or she could be worse. Optimal stopping theory proposes this solution. Get it? Proposes? We give Mr. Stoker a few pity laughs. He continues explaining by drawing little stick men and women on the whiteboard. I don't mean to judge my classmates, but if I had to guess, I think Mr. Stoker's lesson goes over their heads. No thanks, Maddie says. Maybe she does get it. She's actually pretty smart. Evil, but smart. I'd rather try online dating than leave it up to this math theory. This is not a guarantee, but it is a way to maximize your success. With optimal stopping theory, you're 3 times more likely to pick your soulmate than if you were to randomly select one person from your field of 20 candidates. How romantic, Jennifer says. This country's divorce rate is over 50%. Maybe OST could help. Mr. Stoker continues talking about math as the basis of life. From cells to music, numbers and patterns control our world and can make it better. Mathematics is even being used in the courtroom. With enough data from similar cases, a verdict can be determined with amazing accuracy. Maybe lawyers will eventually be obsolete. My mom's a lawyer, Maddie calls out. I wouldn't say that around her. Mr. Stoker ignores the interruption. Now these concepts are big and complicated, but I encourage you to remember the power of mathematics as you work on your service projects. Don't be afraid of numbers. Use them to compute your solutions. Look at the world as it is intended. He gives us the last 10 minutes of the period to work on our projects. Wendy drags her chair over to my desk. We need to use math, I say as she sits down. You want to save puppies and use math? Wendy asks. Never said anything about using puppies. I shake my head, but yes, we definitely need to use math, and Mr. Stoker needs to be our faculty mentor. I have a math problem for you, she says. We are still a group of two. I think everyone already has a group. We look around the room. It's hard to tell whether everyone is already on a team. They could be working with someone in another class. I've already asked Peyton, Marjorie, Caitlin, Sarah, and Maddie, Wendy says. And since Wendy's not good at whispering, Maddie looks up from her cell phone, which she's playing with under her desk. She glares at us without even saying her name. You asked Maddie? Did you really think she'd want to be on my team? I'm sure Maddie would rather eat slugs than work with me. I feel the same way, but I would never eat a slug. I don't even like shrimp. Wendy shrugs. I think she would have joined us if she hadn't already said yes to Daniela and Jasmine. They've started their project. I stare at Wendy to see if she's joking. She doesn't seem to be. I just shake my head. Actually, I've asked everyone. She taps her fingers on my Clorox clean desk. Would have been easier if the teachers assigned the teams, like Mrs. Shields did in social studies class for our Egypt project. But then I probably wouldn't have been with Wendy. Wendy puts her hand in the air and waves Mr. Stoker over like he's a waiter. Yes, ladies, Mr. Stoker says when he gets to my desk. Will you be our mentor? I speak before Wendy does. He grins. I thought you'd never ask. What are you considering as a... Mr. Stoker, Wendy says, we can't find another team member. I've asked literally every person in the 7th grade, so I think it is only fair if Lucy and I are a team of 2. Is that okay? You've asked literally everyone, he says. Yes. Mr. Stoker clears his throat. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, does everyone have a service project team? See, Wendy says right away, everyone is... I need a team, Levi interrupts. He doesn't look up from the notebook he's doodling in. Great, you can join Lucy and Wendy. Mr. Stoker taps the project sheet that sits on my desk. Add Levi's name. I hesitate. Levi's a cheater, and I still haven't gotten my revenge, other than not talking to him for 15 days. But Mr. Stoker stands over me, waiting. I cave and write Levi's name in pencil. It can always be erased. Good luck, team, Mr. Stoker says, and then walks over to Ethan. You have to actually do some work if you want to be on our team, Wendy orders Levi. He shrugs, but says nothing. Do you have any ideas? She asks. Nope. He never looks up from his notebook. I guess it doesn't matter. There are only 2 minutes left in class, and Wendy will probably make all the decisions anyway. Wendy has ordered that our group meet at lunch on Monday. She and I get permission to go straight to the media center from science. Levi tells us he'll catch up. I wipe a small section of the table and then make the mistake of looking at the cloth. It's grimier than when I clean my usual spot at lunch. Use extra hand sanitizer and make Wendy take some too. We share my sandwich, cookies, and chips, even though you're not supposed to eat in here. We keep the food hidden behind a stack of books. Would you still be my friend if I didn't always have candy and cookies? I ask her. Of course, she says, but maybe not best friends. I know she's joking. Is that a sign of being real friends? When you know something they say should be followed by JK. After we finish our high sugar foods, Wendy starts to panic. I should carry extra Jolly Ranchers to keep her calm in situations like this. He's not coming. I knew it. I'm going to talk to Mr. Stoker and get Levi kicked off the team. It's not fair that we have to do all the work. We haven't really done any work yet, I think. Lunch period isn't over, I say. He could still come. With only 8 minutes left, I'm starting to have my doubts too. I don't know why we let him on our team. We didn't have a choice, I remind her. And I didn't want him either. He's a cheater. You make it sound like he's your boyfriend and he kissed someone else. Gross. Wendy slumps back in her chair. Maddie's group has a great project. We need a great project. What's theirs? I ask, but I don't really want to know. Filling backpacks with school supplies for refugee families. They have a goal of 200 backpacks for kids in kindergarten all the way up through high school. And they're not just going to have notebooks and pencils and stuff like that, but also gift cards so kids can buy new shoes. That's cool. Yeah, it is. She stares off into space. I get the feeling Wendy wants to be on Team Maddie. Maybe I should suggest it. Free her from our agreement to be partners. If Maddie is only working with Jasmine and Daniela, they have room for one more. Wendy, if you want to... Look who's finally here! Wendy sits up and points toward the door. Levi slides 2 books into the return slot. Then he talks to the librarian for a minute before walking over to us and collapsing into the chair next to mine. So what are we doing for this project? He asks. Where have you been? Wendy asks. A grown boy has to eat. He pats his stomach. Wendy glares at him. I can't believe you're so... Let's work on the project, I interrupt. Okay? Fine, here are my suggestions. Wendy opens her notebook. She has 2 new pages of ideas, and she reads each outrageous proposal. Levi groans. Reasonable in there? With some more reasonable. I think seals for boats? How reasonable. We could put up signs and warn boaters that they're killing sea lions. We live 3 hours from the ocean. I've never even seen a sea lion. Wendy shuts her notebook and slaps it on the table. Lucy is the one who wants to save animals. What? No, I don't. No animals, please. I wave my hands like I'm stopping traffic. I suggested picking up cans on the side of the road, assuming I can find industrial-grade rubber gloves. Save the animals. That isn't a problem, Levi says. It's a bumper sticker. I don't want to save animals, I say again, but neither Wendy nor Levi is listening to me. Okay, how about this? Find animals loving, caring, forever homes. Isn't that a bumper sticker? She asks Levi. A really crappy one. Wendy rolls her eyes. We still need to be more specific, I say. Like, what kind of animals do you want to save, Wendy? Dogs and cats, she says. But I know she'd rather save black rhinos or narwhals. Are you discriminating against snakes and turtles? Do they not need loving, caring, forever homes? Levi asks. Wendy puts a finger in Levi's face. I think the problem is that you make fun of everything I say. Shh! Miss Wilson snaps at us from behind the checkout desk. The media center is a privilege. Sorry, Wendy says. Just write whatever you want, Levi says with a fake smile, and I notice the gap between his front teeth. This doesn't count for anything. We're still going to pass 7th grade even if we have a loser project. You're giving up already? Wendy asks. Not giving up. Giving in. There's a difference. Levi throws his backpack onto the table. Wendy groans. I'm starting to think working on a team is a form of torture. The teachers are doing this as a part of a weird social experiment to see if they can make students hate each other. Levi opens his backpack and pulls out his camera. He plays with the buttons, then aims it at Wendy. Her scowl turns into a sweet smile, as if he has figured out how to tame her. When he points the camera in my direction, I hide behind a science textbook. Is this for your site? Wendy asks, hopeful. Levi reviews Wendy's picture on the back of the camera. Probably not. He presses the red delete button. I have no idea what they're talking about, but Wendy looks ready to strangle Levi again. You're not allowed to take pictures during school, she hisses. It's in the handbook. I could report you. Whatever. It's for art class. You're not supposed to eat in here. He holds up my empty potato chip bag. Back to work, I jump in. We need to state our project as a problem with numbers. I hate math, Levi mumbles. I jerk back like I've been slapped. That's the stupidest thing you've ever said. He gives me a questioning look. Sorry? Math makes sense, so maybe we could use numbers to express our problems and even the solution. How? Wendy asks. Like, there are 1,000 animals put down in our county every month. I make up that number, which is not something I usually do. It makes my stomach hurt. Oh my God, there are? Wendy snaps forward in a panic. I don't know. I was just trying to give an example. It's probably much, much less. I'll have to look up the numbers when I get home. I hate imprecise descriptions like lots, few, and hardly any. This is turning into a really morbid project, Levi says, counting dead animals. How about this? Only X number of animals are adopted each month from the local shelter. Is that a problem? Levi asks. Sounds like a statement. At least he doesn't call me a bumper sticker. It's a problem if another 200 are waiting to be adopted. Again, I'm making up numbers that I know nothing about. It feels like cheating. I got it, Wendy says. She writes and talks at the same time. On average, the Hamlin County Animal Control has 1,000 dogs and cats waiting to be adopted, and the shelter can only hold 500. Now she's making up numbers. I'm spreading a disease of inaccuracy. I guess that works. I'll look up the actual numbers tonight. Could be a good project. Levi? Wendy wants his input. Whatever. That counts as a yes from Levi. And the solution is easy, Wendy adds. We help the animals get adopted. She smiles. I know she's excited, and we don't even need to go to Africa. Or we help the county build a bigger animal prison, Levi says, and Wendy glares at him. Shut up. We're going to save thousands of animals, like it or not. Right, Lucy? I guess. Not sure what just happened. Never wanted to work with animals. I still don't. Only wanted Wendy and Levi not to kill each other. I guess I solved one problem. That is the end of chapter 16. So we'll keep on reading tomorrow at 12 o'clock. So y'all have a wonderful day. Students, keep working hard. Keep making sure that you're doing the best that you can. Keep taking care of each other. And most importantly, stay safe. And remember, range is the way.